Welcome back to Near From Home's epic Turkish coastal road trip. In this video, we're taking a break from the road to explore the culinary delights this country has to offer. Specifically, we're going to be having our first ever Turkish breakfast, a meal that is as legendary as it is daunting.
Good morning everybody and welcome back to Canakkale. Today is in fact our fourth and final day here, which is a little bit sad as I'm really loving it. But alas, no, we must move on to our next major stop, Evlilik. Though, because we're not having to get up at the crack of dawn and rush to as many ruins as possible, we're gonna have a bit of a lie-in and have time for a big Turkish breakfast. Let's go eat.
I was not expecting this much food. This is so much. They kept bringing out more and more food, and then they ran out of room to put it on the table, so it turned into the tastiest game of Tetris. So I haven't really talked about this a lot in our Turkish series, trying to not be a bummer, but I've been kind of on the struggle bus as far as food goes. We've been running around and doing so much. We haven't had time to sit down at a proper restaurant and have a proper meal. We've been doing a lot of Turkish fast food, which I've quickly learned means meat only, not super vegetarian friendly. For example, yesterday we came back to Canakkale super late and we had a doner, a really fast doner. And I was like, okay, I'll get the vegetarian doner. And it was a couple of French fries and some mozzarella in a durum wrap. The durum wrap was really good, but it was just kind of weird having that in my durum. I was expecting a little bit more. So this is our first time sitting down for a proper meal, and I'm super excited because proper meals at restaurants are really vegetarian friendly. As you can see, we got olives, we got tomatoes, we got cucumbers, we've got lots of cheese, eggs, bread, simit. I'm really, really excited. So we've got simit here. I had it in Istanbul, but this one feels 1,000 times better. It's so fluffy. It tastes really, really like sesame seeds.
So, as you can see, we went into this breakfast completely blind and were shocked by the sheer amount of food squeezed onto the table in front of us. Afterwards, I had a quick Google only to discover that this is quite normal, and the only real rules for Turkish breakfast, aside from the obligatory black tea, are that there must be some sort of bread, spread, cheese, and eggs in some sort of small plate form. This usually pans out to look like a basket of fresh baked bread, black and green olives, fresh vegetables, so much cheese, fruit preserves, jams, honey, pastries, and sweet, sweet butter. I think my favorite little dish of them all had to be the olives. I'm a huge olive fan, and these tasted so wonderful. Plus, they had multiple colors, and I appreciate it, because you don't normally see that. So getting a mix was really cool. Tied for second place would have to be the fresh butter and cheeses. They definitely complemented the simit really, really well. Overall, the quality of the food was so high, the quantity was insane, and all at such an incredibly low price. I mean, this may well have been one of the best meals I've ever had. And of course, you receive about twice as much food as you could possibly eat.
That place was phenomenal. I can highly recommend that you go there if you're in the area. It was so much food. They called it a breakfast for 2 people. Tell you what, I was a breakfast for 3 if I've ever seen it. And it only cost 169 Turkish lira, which is very little for how much food you're getting. So great value, great service. Loved it. But I'm not quite done in Canakkale yet. There's one more thing I'd like to go do. I've heard there is a free Ceramnic Museum right around the corner in an old hammam. It sounds wonderful, so let's go. The Ceramnic Museum is an easy recommendation. With no entry fee and kind of a pretty small, manageable size, it'll only take you 15 minutes to view everything. What's not to love? The best part though, at least to me, is the fact that it is in an old hammam, with the dressing rooms and the actual tepidarium, the hot room, all being used to showcase the ceramics themselves. So it's a really good way to experience hammam architecture without having to get all hot and sweaty. And interestingly enough, compared to the hammam that we did in Istanbul together, me and Camille, the architecture is very, very similar. So it was fun just getting to reminisce of that memory back in Istanbul and look at the different similarities, like, oh, do you think that's where the dressing rooms were? That's how they must have done the piping. It was really cool and I'd highly recommend it. 15 minutes, no money, easy. All right, so with that done, we are officially finished, at least for now, in Canakkale. We've accomplished so much. Every minute has been spent wisely, and I've been really impressed by the depth of all the ruins that we went to. In fact, so much so, there are a variety of things we had planned, a few items on our to-do list that are completely left unchecked because we ended up going deeper into what we did find. And some people might spin that as a bad thing, but in reality, it's kind of my favorite way to leave a place. If you don't mind me getting a little philosophical with you, I love having just a few items left unchecked, so that when I look back on this as a memory, not only do I have all of the wonderful things that we've done, but I've also got a bit of a sense of yearning. You know, if I had one more day to come back, oh, there's so much I would do. I like that feeling. It makes me feel like the place is still alive, you know? If you spend too long, if you don't plan enough and you end up feeling a bit bored, you leave a place with a stagnant memory, and I really hate that. So instead, I'd much rather have just a few more things that I can look forward to if I'm ever lucky enough to come back. But now, let's get out of the wind and into the car. We've got to go to Ayvalık.
And as we drive off into the sunset towards Ayvalık, I think that's where we'll call this video, as we've got a busy day tomorrow in Pergamum, which should be a phenomenal video, by the way, as we explore the temples of healing, the seat of Satan, and a Roman cult temple to Egyptian gods, all in one of the coolest, most off-the-beaten-path ancient wonders I've ever visited. So you're definitely going to want to like and subscribe for that one so you don't miss out. But if you're looking for something to watch right now, well, may I recommend my Istanbul food tour video if you're still hungry, or if you like the sound of some of those ancient ruins, check out my previous video on Assos, an entire ancient coastal city that we had all to ourselves for a glorious sunset. Thank you all so much for watching, it means the world, and I'll see you in the next video.